Muslim representative who has to come on a debate on triple talaq has to necessarily often be in a beard, have his a cap on, and has to be, someone who may have no credibility within his community, but speaks loudly and therefore will be seen as the villain of the day. This is the person I'm going to bang because he represents all that is evil about Islam. Or some Pakistani general who retired 10 years ago will be held responsible for any terror attack that takes place in Pakistan. I mean, do we want young Indians to grow up believing that every Pakistani is a terrorist? Do we want young Indians to grow up believing that every Muslim is some kind of a fundamentalist who doesn't want reform in his community? I mean, by reducing a powerful medium of our times to these kind of loose binaries or stereotyping people, we are creating the recipe for a very dangerous future for our country. And as you rightly said, large parts of this country will fall off the map. For television, Jharkhand is only about MS Dhoni. For television, Chhattisgarh frankly doesn't exist. For television, the Northeast, floods in Meghalaya make absolutely no impact on television. But if there is water logging outside Noida, it becomes a huge story because that is where your audience is located, that is where your TRP is, that is where your advertiser is. So, you then must ask yourself, what have we done? What have we reduced our medium to? And maybe as a result, some of these questions, will eventually find an answer, that we have to accept now that television news is soap opera and don't treat it as seriously as you and I do. We should now accept that when you watch television, you get entertained, you feel, it's nice entertainment, it's infotainment, it's not even infotainment. It's entertainment for some. Indians love cockfight. One anchor. No, the fact is, I have heard editors saying, don't Indians love cockfights? What's wrong if I have a cockfight on TV? So it's essentially you're bringing television as a news medium to the lowest common denominator. What happened in Big Boss is now on TV. It's on TV news and it's tragic. It is really tragic because I think no one wants to really now shake the system. Because those who can don't have the business model left to create an alternative. People ask me, why can't you create a BBC or a CNN? For God's sake, 60% of CNN's revenues come from subscription and not from advertising. Here in India, we will pay 800 rupees or 600 rupees to our cable operator for 500 news channels, which means you are paying barely 1 rupee per channel. If you pay peanuts, you will get monkeys.